The government's appointed a panel of its own experts to overhaul the operating rules for the national electricity market. One of them has declared nothing is off the table. Tim Nelson, a former senior AGL energy executive, is one of the panel of four and believes there should be incentives for generators to invest in new gas plants, battery storage and pumped hydro to back up renewables. The panel's got until the end of next year to make a whole lot of recommendations to state and federal energy ministers. Joining me now, the guy who had that brilliant doco last week, Sky News contributor Chris Uhlmann. Well, just on that, Chris, it was a cracker of a program because we've often talked here how complex it is and governments don't want people to understand electricity. I think you made it so beautifully clear and transparent last week. All credit to you. Let's go to that review. Now, is this a stalling tactic, do you think, by the government to get them through the election? Have this review, change all the rules potentially? It's not until next year that even we get the report, let alone do anything.
Yeah, Peter, they were always going to review the marketplace, and don't forget that the national electricity market is two things. It's a physical grid and it's a financial market where the price of electricity is settled every 5 minutes. And what's happening to the marketplace is the same thing that's happening to the physical grid. It's being destroyed by parasitical power, and that is wind and solar. So in the physical marketplace, that power can only exist if it exists on a host. At the moment, that is coal and it is gas, and eventually it will be gas and it will be pumped hydro and it will be batteries. But in the marketplace, it kills the host. And how does it do that? Well, when it does generate very low. In fact, the prices in the marketplace can go negative, mostly during the middle of the day when you don't need that power. And then at the end of the day, when you do need it, that's when the coal-fired generators have to gear up and the gas-fired generators have to gear up. But what happens through the course of the day is that those generators are basically forced out of the marketplace and are having to trade on negative money. Now, of course, wind and solar can keep going because they've got government subsidies. And they also clean up at the other end of the marketplace because they get to bid in first when the prices are high, and they get paid whatever the price in the marketplace is. So, of course, we do need to look at this marketplace. This marketplace is broken for the same reason the physical marketplace is broken. But I tell you what, if we're going to encourage gas in the marketplace, we should have done it in 2022 when the Energy Security Board recommended that the capacity investment scheme have gas in it. But guess what? The energy ministers decided gas would not be in it. So at some stage, they're going to have that come to Jesus moment and give some encouragement to get gas in the marketplace. Because why? Because their system won't work without it.
AEMO, the market regulators out there today, and this is in New South Wales in particular, talking about, lots of hot weather, a demand on the system. Geez, it's terrible. We could have blackouts, God forbid, in a resource-rich country like Australia. Even these warnings, don't turn your AC on, don't turn it down low. I mean, when I grew up in Australia, it was a point of principle when someone got an AC system. When we got one in the Mallee, we thought we were as rich as Croesus. And now we've got making ourselves energy poor. I just think it's crackers.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more, Peter. I think that it's an absolute national scandal, and what's happening is we're being put on a pathway to poverty. And start listening to some of the language that will come out of places like AEMO and the government. You'll hear what's called demand management. What does that mean? It means blackouts. It means that you'll be asked to turn your equipment down, or it will be turned off by the government in the end, and industry will be asked to shut down. So what we're doing at the moment is creating an electricity system which will not serve the needs of the country. And I genuinely don't believe that people fully understand what's happening. We are fiddling with the country's central nervous system. Without electricity, everything will cease to function. It's not a commodity. It shouldn't be treated in the other ways that the commodities are. This is an essential service, and we're conducting a grid-scale experiment on it, and the people who are conducting the experiment are doing brain surgery with no idea how the system actually works.
With a butter knife, I'd say, Chris. Keep it going. I tell you what, you're starting to absolutely cut through, and this will be a huge issue at the coming election. Thank you again.